Welcome, Internet, to the lead word. This is your host, Chad Bauman. With me, as always, my partner, Trey Daubert. We have a special guest appearance from my hometown friend, Tory Muhammad. If you listened to the show before, Tory's been on a couple times, I think. Maybe just once. I don't know off the top of my head.
One time.
Just one time then. Tory,
it's been
Trey,
a while,
what's
though.
going on, guys?
It's been a while since Tory's been on the show, but we're happy to have him back here. Another week in the NFL. But Tory and Chad have a interesting Eagles debate. And for people that listen to the lead word and watch the show, they kind of know that Chad likes to go on these Eagles rants, and he complains about the Philly media sometimes. So this should be a good little discussion here.
Yeah, and I think the perfect place to open it up. I don't know exactly how you feel about this, Tory, but I feel like Howie Roseman needs to be fired.
You know what? Strangely, that's one thing we agree on. That is one thing we agree on, Chad. We agree on that.
Okay, because I've talked about this before. You are your average. You know, if your average is 9 out of 10, like that's what you're getting on a consistent basis, that's what you are. You know, if you get a 1 out of 10 every once in a while or a 10 out of 10 every once in a while, that's your best and your worst. That's you're just your average. Right. Howie's average has been shit.
Right. Yeah. I think like you said, you know, I think he's still living off the Wentz lottery, you know, in the Super Bowl. And strangely enough, you know, we haven't held him. I feel like we haven't held him accountable as a fan base for all of the misses. Him and Peterson, I think, you know, kind of on a hot seat. Because we missed out on DK. We passed up on DK for who we passed out on DK for? JJ. JJ, and then we just passed up on Justin Jefferson, which I think is gonna bite us in the butt for a long time. For Rager, who nobody I think had even at the top of their boards, so it was a huge reach. And then we ended up going for Hurts, and I know we haven't seen him on the field yet, but that was kind of a reach too. So it was a huge gamble on his end, and also let's not even get into trades. Not fishing for D-Hop or Odell. Man, the list goes on. Man.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because my biggest thing has been, okay, what do the Eagles need? What do they need for this Carson Wentz guy to succeed? Because people keep telling me he's not that good, but we got to fix the receiver position here. And each of the last 2 years, Howie Roseman has put his stamp on the organization and said, JJ Arcega-Whiteside is my guy. Jalen Reagor is my guy, and he completely whiffed the past 2 years. Justin Jefferson looks really good right now. Philadelphia passed on him. Like, didn't have to move in the draft. Straight up passed on him. So, I mean, to me, Howie Roseman, I said at draft night, the guy has lost his mind. He doesn't know what he's doing.
You want to talk about wide receivers for a second? Let's also not forget, they had a chance to move up and get CeeDee Lamb, who's also looked really good through 4 weeks. But the reason why they didn't is they wanted to keep that second round pick to take a quarterback, because apparently we're more interested in being a quarterback factory than we are actually winning a Super Bowl, which I don't know if Howie doesn't know this or not, but like, this isn't college football. You don't have to prepare these guys to go play somewhere else. Like, you don't need to be a factory. Like, if that's what you're into, Howie, go take a job at like fucking Clemson recruiting guys or some shit. I don't know.
And the other thing he said about Jalen Hurts is he said, we missed out on Russell Wilson, and I didn't want to make that mistake again. Buddy, I got news for you. If you think Jalen Hurts is Russell Wilson, this man needs to be fired now, because there is a 0% chance he turns into Russell Wilson.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I also heard his excuse that we also thought that we think in the future, basically we could flip him. And I'm like, flip him for a second round, the first round. I mean, you'd have to play to do that. So
It doesn't make any sense. And then I'll just one last thing about like his terrible ability to draft wide receivers. Travis Fulgham, the hero of Sunday night, he was drafted after J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Not by your team either.
Yeah, he was drafted by like I think the Lions or the Packers.
Did you even know Old Dominion had a football program?
I knew they had a football program, but I had no idea who the fuck he was.
Team. I didn't know they had a football program.
I had no idea. Like I was watching the game. Was I watching the game or no? I think no. That wasn't this. That wasn't when I was at Jamie's house with you. So I was watching the game. He caught the touchdown. I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" Like that's like all of our receivers. Like, and I consider myself one. Go ahead, Tory.
I know Ward.
No. But that's the thing. Like, I consider, like, I knew who Greg Ward was before he actually made the field because, like, the Eagles were talking him up a whole lot.
Right.
This guy, half of our receivers, and I consider myself one of the bigger Eagles fans there are. I have no idea who these people are. Like, I'm just like, every time someone catches a ball, if it's not Greg Ward or Zach Ertz, I'm like, wait, who the fuck is that? How long has he been on the team?
Did he just get here?
They pulled him out the crowd like, oh, we're short a guy today. Hey, you got an Eagles jersey on. Get in here.
How tall are you? It's fine. It works.
6 foot. Line up outside.
Hey, Chad's our tight end for VU.
Oh, yeah. And I got one target, one catch for a touchdown. That's all I got to say. Scott needs to feed me the rock if we ever get that series going again. There's been technical difficulties, but
Jackson's working on it, but that's still more catches than Arcega-Whiteside had all week. So,
yeah, Travis Fulgham in one game has better stats than J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in his last 7 starts.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you guys.
Last thing about Howie though, that I need to say, honestly, bringing in these kind of like walk off the street kind of guys, he's actually been really good at it. You know, Boston Scott. We talked Greg Ward, Travis Fulgham looks kind of good. Why can't we do that with first round picks though? What's the problem with that?
Yeah, it's a fumble, and that's actually where you make your franchise better, and that's where we're messing up. You know, our first round pick, so you know that's your money maker, that's your team builder, that's your you get the most out of those guys. They're the most talent. That's where the most talent comes from more times than not, unless it's like a running back, and usually sometimes they come out of the 3rd round, 2nd round. But like, you know, we like you said, we've been focusing on receivers for so long, and you know, I don't know how we can't get it right. You know,
but even that, the whole team is neglected, not just the wide receiver position. Linebackers, we have no linebackers.
Yeah, defensively, we've tried. It's bad, man. We just, like you said, man, Howie needs to either fire the whole scouting team or he has to get fired himself, man, because I don't know, man.
I'm going to let you guys do the Carson Wentz debate, but this is kind of my point on it. I'm kind of glad we started here. It's just that this man's in first place, and we look at Dak Prescott. He's throwing for 500 yards. He's got Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Zeke Elliott. You'd love to have those guys on your team. He's not winning. He's throwing for a bunch of yards, but he's not winning. Carson Wentz is limping a dog shit practice squad team and wins a division. You'd love to have Dallas's talent and weapons, but Wentz doesn't have those. He's still finding a way to win a division.
For now, at least.
Yeah. That's a positive. I think, I think the Cowboys, they do a great job at finding talent, especially drafting talent. It's just their execution. Usually it comes from the top, which is Jerry Jones interfering with coaching staff, and coaching staff being inept at using the talent they have at their disposal. And that's good for Dak. He has all those weapons. But the Cowboys defense is obviously one of the worst in the league. And that's why I think the Eagles defense is actually kind of underrated. Our run defense has been pretty good. I just think that I seen that Slayton is playing really well too. I think that we just need to actually go out and get a solid weapon for wins. I think that's what it is. Like, we're avoiding the superstar receiver. We're avoiding trying to get that star receiver. We're trying to get middle ground guys, get speedsters, but not a star receiver. And I think that's where our fault lies.
And you know what the crazy thing is it's the same thing they did with Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
The one year they got McNabb a good receiver, we saw what he did. I feel like if we could get Carson Wentz some help, we could have a similar season to like what we saw in 2004. Because I feel like he has the talent. He's got the arm strength. I've seen Carson make plays that I've never seen anyone else talking about, like Hall of Fame guys I've never even seen make. I feel like he's got all the talent in the world and we're just wasting it.
Yeah, I think the kid has talent. But I don't know if it's the yips. I want to say it's the yips this season. Obviously, O-line is damaged. But you see him missing. I compare it to layups. See him missing. 10-yard passes. 5-yard dumps. Like the kid. I know he's probably scared of getting hit. But when I'm watching other QBs, with bad offensive lines, I'm watching Deshaun Watson, or I'm watching Russell Wilson, or I'm watching, and I've seen Carson Wentz make plays in previous seasons, and I'm just like, man, like, he has to put it together. That's really like he has to figure something out, even if it's even if he has to get in rhythm. I just saw Nick Foles; he was getting smacked yesterday, and he made plays when it counted. It was play calling too. So I think Peterson takes some blame too. But the kid is talented. I want him to succeed, but at the same time, I think that a team has to have direction, and we don't have direction at this moment in time. It's we're doing a whole bunch of different things. We're trying to build a secondary, and then we're trying to get middle tier receivers, or we're fishing for a QB. Like, there is no direction. Like, let's build the defense first. Okay, let's get receivers first. Let's do. We don't know what we're doing. Howie doesn't know what he's doing.
I agree. I think a lot of the blame is on Howie Roseman. And I'm not going to lie, Carson Wentz hasn't been perfect. But I feel like, yes, Carson misses some throws, but every quarterback in the NFL misses some throws every once in a while. You mentioned Nick Foles. There was a couple of wide open throws that Nick Foles missed. He had one early in the first quarter last night. He missed the wide out, which probably would have been a touchdown. He missed him by a mile. Whoever number 11 on the Bears was, he missed him. What bad deep down the field. So my thing is until we see Carson with the team around him, I can't make a judgment either way. I can't say, oh, we need to get him out of there, or he's not good. I feel like I'm watching what he's doing with Greg Ward and, the guy that's picking up my trash every Tuesday. And I'm like, okay, it looks bad, but we're in these games for the most part. Last year limped into the playoffs with, nobody. So
right.
If this is what we have with the team that's around him, I can only imagine what we could get with a good team around him.
My whole thing is, how long is he going to last? Like, how long is he going to last? Is he durable enough? And that's why you see me say trade Wentz. It's just, how long is he going to last? He has the talent, but will he take care of his own body? Will he take care of his own body? Because, we see times where he tries to be a hero and it goes wrong. He's holding the ball too long. He's doing this. And like you said, QBs miss passes. I hate hearing the argument where, you vilify one QB for something another QB does or many QBs do. But the thing is, when it's, he won the game last week, which is fine, as long as you're winning. But when you're losing, somebody has to take the blame. And if you're missing those easy plays and you're losing, that's the issue. I don't have that problem as long as you're winning. That's where it comes. If the game is close enough where you can win it, you can pull it. And that's what Nick Foles did yesterday. I saw Tom Brady choke. I don't care what anybody says. I watched that game and I saw Tom mess up 2 passes, didn't know what a 4th down was. He choked. Plain and simple. So when you make winning plays, there is no argument. I have no argument. But if you can stay healthy, I got no argument. But when when you're injury prone, you're known to be injury prone. You're missing easy passes, and you're holding the ball too long, liable to get hurt again. Yeah, you got to have that conversation. I think a bad team or a team that has faith in them, and you always see a team get ripped off by another GM for a trade that you think maybe good or bad or whatever, like the D-Hop trade. I think we can get a haul for him. Like even with the way he's playing, somebody's going to believe in the potential, and they'll trade something for him, something of value. So, that was my thoughts. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm still here. I'm an Eagles fan, not a Wentz fan. But I support Wentz to do his job.
Now, the one thing I would say about that, getting a haul for him, because I don't disagree. I think if you wanted to move on from Wentz right now, you probably could get a good chunk of picks and maybe some players for him. My thing is I don't think you can do that when you have a talent at quarterback. I don't think, like any other position on the field, defensive tackle, cornerback, wide receiver, running back, lineman, if you need to rebuild, then move that position. But it's so hard to find a good quarterback. I mean, we see it every year. Teams are reaching for these guys in the top 10 or the first round, and then they just flat out can't play. Speaking of the Bears, Mitch Trubisky, case in point, they traded up so
that's an abnormality. Don't. Oh my God! Like, dude, I can go on with Mitch. Like, Mitch was undeserving of being drafted as high as he was. That was the Bears reaching. Like, that doesn't even. If you say somebody like Baker Mayfield not working out, cool. Somebody like Sam Darnold, cool. But Mitch was a reach.
Yeah, but do you trust Howie Roseman not to reach on a guy like that?
Woo, that's a good
Look
question.
at her. He just fucking did it this year.
I have to trust him with a number one overall pick. If we were, 2, 3, something,
we just reached on a quarterback and a wide receiver this year, and now I'm supposed to be like, all right, yeah, let's trade Wentz, get all these picks, and have Howie fuck up another draft for us.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the issue right there. That's why I hate, I always hate, this goes for every sport. I hate hearing, give him another year. I hate it with a passion. They were saying after this, I know this is a separate topic, with Doc Rivers blew a 3-1 lead. Hey, he might have another year. No, man, there is no more years for you. You're gone. Like, you got to go, man. You had enough chances. Howie has had many chances. You lived through, you got your Super Bowl. You messed up these contracts. You gave this player contract. You did all this. No, Like, this should be the last season.
We're basically paying Alshon Jeffrey to go to the doctor every day.
Exactly. We're paying him to watch the game at home. And that's basically it, man. That's what we're doing.
All right, so I feel like it's probably a good time to move on because we're coming up on 20 minutes here. But basically, to summarize, I feel like me and Tory, I feel like we can agree. Maybe we have the difference in opinion that it might be time to move on from Wentz, but it seems like we're both in agreement that the main problem the Eagles have right now is Howie Roseman.
He has to go. I agree. Has to go. I don't even want to give him another draft, to be honest.
And honestly, he might be fired at the end of the season. He should be fired at the end of the season. If they don't make the playoffs, I guarantee if they don't make the playoffs, he's gone. Jeffrey Lurie can't hold on to him.
I'd say this: first of all, we shouldn't even been. It's sad to say we shouldn't have been trying to go towards the playoffs. We honestly should be trying to get a top pick and moving on from him. I really think it's no matter if you win or lose, make the playoffs, or I don't care what you do, you gotta go. It's that simple. It's like it's like the ex. It's like the the girlfriend or boyfriend tired of whatever. You gotta go. It's that time. I don't care what you do.
I agree. I agree, but
your time is up.
These guys are gonna try to save their job, though. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but look, Brett Brown, your neighbor next door. He made the playoffs. You gotta go. You gotta go, man.
I don't disagree. I think he's had his chances. He screwed him up. It's time to get him out the door.
A part of being a GM. Before we move on, my bad. Part of being a GM is contracts. After the Super Bowl, a lot of people got really sentimental, didn't think about the future. That's all. That's all I got. They ain't think about the future.
And it's funny because they've actually come out and even agreed, like they've admitted, like, yeah, we got sentimental about these picks. Like Howie even said that in an interview. Like I started thinking about nostalgia than I did doing my job. Like what?
It was apparent because look, these guys won. Oh, I'm gonna pay this player this much. I'm gonna pay this player. Not looking at their age. Not looking at what's cap in the future. Not looking at he didn't factor in any of those things, and that was unacceptable. And that's what got him in this position. You always have to. It's all business all the time. You want to stay loyal to those that make sense. You want to stay loyal to a fault, as a player should. You stay loyal to a fault. It's about the team at the end of the day and its future.
Exactly. Now, moving on here, I guess our next topic is going to be, Bill O'Brien got fired this week. Definitely seems like it was a long time coming. Now, one thing that people are saying, he doesn't deserve a coaching job. Again, I honestly think he did a good job as a head coach for the Texans. Obviously, he should not be the GM because he's the worst GM. I mean, I don't know. There's a toddler out there that could probably do better than Bill O'Brien. Trey, Tory, what are your thoughts? Bill O'Brien, head coach. Would you hire him?
Depends if it's the NFL or college.
NFL.
No.
Show your work.
College, yes. I think he's too much of a barker. I think the players hate him. I don't think veteran players are going to put up with him anymore. Apparently, the reason why he got fired is because J.J. Watt and whatever pretty much revolted against him. The guy's an asshole. He traded DeAndre Hopkins because he didn't like him. Like, the guy's an asshole. So I think he works much better in college. I think he did a pretty good job at Penn State. His personality, he's too big of a dick. When you can rotate kids in every 4 years, it doesn't matter. You can yell and be a screamer. When you're trying to yell at J.J. Watt, these guys aren't going to put up with it, especially when you're not winning consistently or winning playoff games consistently. So would I hire him to be the head coach of, I don't know, Rutgers or whatever and say, hey, go turn my program around? Sure. NFL job? No, I'm out.
Tory?
Yeah, man. You already know my stance, man. I'm notorious B.O.B. hater, if you want to call me that. Yeah, man. I saw it a long time ago. Writing was on the wall. He's had many talented teams, and I think he was saved by the players more than his ability to coach. Plain and simple. And like he said, he's a jerk. And you can be a jerk if you're a winner, if you know how to do it. Bill Belichick's I heard, but Bill Belichick I heard is but he's a jerk. But at the same time,
he
he's
wins.
also a winner, and he holds people accountable. And he has a great system going. So man, you trade the play. You let your feelings get in the way of the team. You trade away for a running back. A running back who had one good season on a bad team. So a running back at that. I don't have anything against running backs, but David Johnson, I don't think he's the top 5 running back in the league. Wow, you got a top 3 wide receiver, probably in my opinion the best wide receiver. You let him go for a pack of bubble gum. Use bubble gum at that. It's about at least 2 strips left in that bubble gum pack of 6. There was 6 strips and that was 2 left. I mean, pre-chew. So and everybody said, oh, system this and system that, and it was cap this and cap that. No. It was a horrible trade. I knew it was from the beginning. It also brings down morale. Nobody in the locker room, I would have probably agreed with that. He lost the locker room, I'm assuming, at that trade. And J.J. Watt, I know he hated to see Hopkins go. So and Deshaun. I think Deshaun should have resigned. But yeah, he's definitely not an NFL coach, man. He's not an NFL coach or GM. Too many mishaps on the field, bad play calling. Got saved by an amazing QB and receiver. So
this is where I disagree, because I do agree that the reason why his biggest issue was hubris. I feel like Bill O'Brien, he thought, I don't need good players. My system will work, which obviously he was dead wrong. But I think that more than anything was because he had that GM power. We know that he was butting heads with Hopkins before the trade because Hopkins wanted a new contract. And then that's why he shipped him out. And then right before he got fired, reports from the NFL came out that he lost the locker room. My thing is if you can win a division title with Brock Osweiler as your quarterback, you obviously have some coaching chops.
I don't think he's a bad coach.
I feel like
the defense, Chad. It was the defense, Chad.
Doesn't matter. They still have Brock Osweiler.
He won a division with TJ Yates.
Exactly.
Matt Schaub.
Look at those guys. Didn't they have Andre Johnson?
No, they didn't have Andre Johnson.
Who was it? D-Hop? It was still D-Hop at that time, right? It was either D-Hop or Andre. It was one or the other.
He might have. I don't remember exactly when Andre Johnson retired. He might have had him for like a year or two.
Andre came in and then D-Hop came like not too soon after he left.
Yeah, but Bill O'Brien got there. If he was there when Andre Johnson was there, it was like right at the end of his career.
Yeah, I know D-Hop came immediately. I know that much. So, and their defense and their run game was solid. Like, and I get that, but that's past. Even moving towards in the future, that team, and you know what, too? The dude kept going for garbage QBs. Like,
but that's my point. That's him being a GM. If he doesn't have that GM power to just gut the roster, we might not be talking about how bad the Texans are and how they basically wasted Deshaun Watson, because this is going to be at least a 5-year rebuild because they don't have any picks, if not longer.
I just think he's a dick. If you go back,
I agree.
There's a draft video out there. It's Bill O'Brien basically screaming at Matt Patricia because he changed his mind on a trade that he offered him or whatever. Or Bill O'Brien tried to trade up in the draft. The guy lost his mind. Like, he's a lunatic. There's something wrong with him.
I don't disagree.
He belongs in college. He needs to be a college head coach where he can just run through kids and change them every 4 years, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he fits college, man. It's no doubt about it. I mean, the glory pass in terms of having like you said. I know what you're saying. You're saying the GM side, kind of affects his decision making and it messes up the roster. I get that.
He has unintentionally tanked this roster,
right?
Without trying.
Exactly, but as a head coach, he doesn't have that ability to ruin the roster. But at that point, all he does is he takes what he has, what you give him, and I think he can make guys win.
I think this. I think if Dan Quinn can lose with the Falcons and their talent, I just don't see him winning with any type of talent. I don't see it. He underachieves, man. I just don't see it. I would still see him underachieving. Like, he blew a lead last year to the Chiefs in their defense that he was slicing up, and then he didn't adjust.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Chiefs went on to win the Super Bowl, so it's like that's really hard an argument to make.
It did, but at the same time, he blew. They had 28 points on them.
24-0.
28. You can keep scoring, keep pushing it. He stopped. He didn't adjust to whatever adjustments they made.
Do we have anything else on Bill O'Brien, or are we ready to move on? Because I have a lot.
I said what
Bill
I had.
Trash. I'm done.
All right, I have 3 different things. Number 1, fuck you, Ron Rivera. Fuck you, Ron Rivera. All right. I'm a little bitter because I had a trade done in fantasy. I was ready to trade Haskins. I honestly did not think Haskins was going to get benched. I really thought they were going to give him the whole year. But this just goes back to sometimes it's more important who you get drafted by instead of how talented you are. I mean, this guy was just set up to fail. And I don't think Haskins was an A+ prospect. I thought he was more of a B prospect. But I don't think the guy sucked. He threw 50 touchdowns at Ohio State in 1 year as a starter. He just needed time, and he needed a real team to develop him. And he obviously never got that in Washington. Was never going to get that in Washington. This is his third head coach in his second season. Never ideal. His team sucks. Terry McLaurin, who was a college teammate, he had more weapons at Ohio State than he does with the Redskins, with the Washington football team, whatever. His team's garbage. His team trades Trent Williams. They have no offensive line anymore. And Ron Rivera, he doesn't just bench him, he makes him the third stringer. This wasn't a move where, okay, we don't believe in you anymore. This is a move of, we just fucking hate you. And I'm going to start Kyle Allen, who led the NFL in turnover-worthy plays. In 12 starts, he had 40 turnover-worthy plays, more than Jameis Winston did. The guy can't play. This is Ron Rivera saying, I like my guy in Carolina who I gave up a third-round pick for absolutely no reason, and I'm going to start him. It's nonsense. The whole thing's nonsense.
I was going to try to – I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you're the guest, man.
Appreciate it, man. I mean, I was going to keep it simple. I was going to say, I don't think he got a fair shake. With Kyle Allen and Mason Rudolph, I see no difference. Both, I don't even think they belong on the field, to be honest, because anybody can do their job. I feel like I can go out there and do their job. All I do is hand the ball off to the running back. I feel bad for the kid. Because I think he played for what they have. I think he played okay, and I know he made. Somebody was pointing out. I saw online where he missed Terry McLaurin on an easy route. He had broke off from. He had separated from his defender, but Haskins ended up throwing it in traffic. People.
I think he froze.
Yeah, Tory, you froze. Can you hear me?
Anyway, Chad, what do you have?
Well, while we wait for Tory to come back, I don't know. I just think, I think it's like you said. It's just where he got drafted. It's not about how good you are. It's about where you go. And I mean, we found out last year that Jay Gruden didn't even want him when he got drafted last year. And then now, I mean, you're just a dumpster fire of an offense. He's in a bad spot. No, I think Tory's you might have to send him a new invite.
I'll send him a new invite quick.
Yeah, because he dropped off. But I don't know. Apparently, according to Ron Rivera, he hasn't given up on Haskins yet, which I feel like if that was the case, why not make him your second string guy?
That's the other part I wanted to get into. I'm not buying anything this guy's fucking saying. Nothing this guy's saying makes any sense. First of all, he said, well, he was having a hard time grasping the playbook. We didn't like his studying habits. Is like, if you didn't think he knew the offense, why did you put him out there week one? It doesn't like nothing Rivera has said has made any sense. Then he says, we haven't given up on him. Well, why is he the third stringer now? If you didn't give up on him,
you'd
make him the backup.
Right.
Nothing Rivera has said makes any sense. So I fucking hate him. I'm done with Ron Rivera. I absolutely want no part of him. I hope I can curse the franchise somehow until he gets fired. I'm pissed. Beyond pissed.
I truly don't think you have to curse the franchise. They're already cursed. You're covered.
That's a double curse. That's a double curse.
And the other point that he made drove me nuts. He said, I would be silly to think we didn't have a chance to win the division. The Eagles are
not wrong.
Here's the problem, though. He thinks making the quarterback change is going to win him division. The Eagles are in first place. The guy you just benched beat the Eagles. So you mean to tell me that you think you have a better chance to win the division with the guy who lost 8 straight starts for you in Carolina? Not a joke. The Panthers lost 8 straight games with Kyle Allen as the starting quarterback on a team, the Carolina Panthers, who have way more talent than the Redskins. You think that guy has a better chance to win the division with this Washington team than the quarterback who just beat the team who's in first place?
I just, for me, it's weird when you look at it. I mean, you look at Daniel Jones, right? Who's getting all the fucking leash in the world. in New England or New York, I mean. And then, like you said, you have Dwayne Haskins, who by no stretch of the imagination has he played great, but can, again, like Carson Wentz, considering what he has around him, he's doing everything that he can.
Haskins has not played well, but he's played better than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has looked lost.
That's
Daniel
my
Jones,
point.
The Giants can't pick up first downs unless he runs for it.
Well, that's my point. Like I said, Dwayne Haskins, like Carson Wentz, they're doing the best with what you have around them. You can't blame him because your shitty fucking general management didn't put a team together.
I'll take the Giants wide receivers over the Redskins right now.
Exactly.
For sure.
I mean, Washington's offensive line is pretty close to New York's.
Neither are good.
I would say neither are good. I would say maybe Washington's a little bit better.
Slightly.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, we're talking about like a 0.5 and a 0.6.
Like this much.
Not much better. Yeah. Like a centimeter better. Like, not a lot.
Like that much.
But Tory, you keep getting cut off, so we'll try to let you get in on the topic here real quick.
Oh yeah. Still on Haskins?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys kind of hit all the points, man. I mean, I really don't, I feel bad for him. I don't got much to say, man. Like, I think it's a tank move too, to be honest. Because Ron Rivera can't really think that, Kyle Allen's going to win them games. I think Trey said it perfectly, man.
Well, that's the other point, though. If you don't like Haskins, let him finish out the year. You can trade him. Now he's got no value. He has no value now.
I think NFL GMs are some of the worst GMs in sports, man. They are horrible, man. Like,
speaking of which, Ron Rivera has roster control now.
I see. He doesn't know what he's doing, man. I don't got nothing else to say, man. Good luck to him.
Maybe you're right though. Maybe it is a tank job. Because I mean, who gives you a worse chance to win? Dwayne Haskins, who already has a win, or Kyle Allen, who we know struggles to even tie his cleats at times.
Yeah, so he knows.
I mean, think about it. You gotta compete with New York, and I know there's probably some other shitty team that I'm forgetting, but right there in your own division, you have to try to out tank New York to get the first pick. Oh, the Jets too. You have to try. They're right next to each other. You got just a trip up the fucking Atlantic City Expressway. That's 3 teams looking for the number 1 pick. How about 295? It hit all 3 stadiums. Well, 2 stadiums because the Giants and Jets play in the same one.
The sad thing is, the other 2 teams, 2 of those teams aren't even trying to tank. But I think 2 of them, the other 2 really don't care, which is the Giants and the Redskins.
I don't know how much more.
The football team to be named later.
The football team.
Saying the Reds. Yeah, we keep saying the Redskins.
Right.
It's the football team to be named later.
No disrespect to my Native American people. Yeah.
I don't know how much more you had, Chad, but I have 2 other things, so I don't know what you had planned here.
Oh, we're good. We can run with your topics. I'm good. I said what I had to say, Bill O'Brien, and my Eagles rant. So
yeah, the second thing I had is, where would the Patriots be without Cam Newton? And I've gotten on Bill Belichick in the past for, I think, has done a piss poor job building a roster, but he's the greatest coach of all time and gets the most out of the guys he has. We kind of saw what the Patriots look like without Cam Newton, and I think they're a 4 or 5 win team. My question here is, what would have happened? And we could go back to Ron Rivera here. The Redskins, Ron Rivera had him forever in Carolina. They could have signed Cam Newton. Like, he traded for Kyle Allen instead. There was a lot of things that had to happen for Cam Newton to just not have a job. And Bill Belichick never really moved off his offer, which was, we'll pay him the minimum. And that's it. What would have happened if he just said, yeah, I'm not going to take this minimum offer. I'll take more money elsewhere. This Patriots team would have been screwed. Like, the idea that Belichick would have been okay entering the season. Now, remember, he didn't draft anybody. So it wasn't like, oh, if we miss out on Cam Newton, We have alternatives. We're going to go into the draft. We're going to pick somebody. He didn't draft anybody either. He waited until July to sign Cam Newton. So he was either really confident he was going to get Cam Newton for nothing, or he played really, really risky game here because Brian Hoyer, we've known forever, can't play. But Jared Stidham, I've been trying to tell people forever, that guy sucks. And we saw it. That guy, garbage time, he couldn't even score in garbage time. He threw 2 easy picks, technically a third one. The one was on Edelman, but the second one should have been a pick by Tyrann Mathieu, and it got called for a bullshit defensive penalty, so it kind of evened itself out. But either way, I mean, this Patriots team is a 5-6 win team without Cam Newton. He went into the year saying, if we don't get Cam Newton, fuck it, who cares? Which is crazy. He really believed in Stidham and Hoyer. How do you do that?
So, I mean, I think, like, I agree with you. I thought the Patriots were actually going to tank, but I guess, like you said, he was playing poker. Nobody was signing Cam, so I assumed he knew Cam was going to be available since he was basically almost blackballed from the league. So that might have been his plan all along.
But you got to have a backup, right? Like, is that his only option? If we don't get Cam, fuck it, we're screwed.
I mean, in Cam's situation, nobody was going to sign him because, like, and shoot, I wouldn't be surprised if Belichick was putting out reports. He had a team putting out reports to get Cam, keep Cam unsigned. You know, like, but you know, it's a joke. But you know, he was prepared, like you said, to ride with what he had, and they would have been horrible. And people would have said, you know, hey, look, this Patriots down season. I think they would have only had one down season, and that would have been this season. But hey, it looked good, man. So
I think I feel like one of the things Bill Belichick does best is he's known for holding his cards close to his chest, right? I feel like just because we don't know what his backup might have been, I have nothing in my brain tells me that he didn't have a backup plan. I feel like Tory said, I feel like he pretty much knew that he could get Cam, but if he didn't, I mean, Bill Belichick, he's not playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. My man's like, he's playing like PS5 and everyone else is still on the PS1. Like, he's just generations outside of what everybody else is thinking. So I'm sure he had something up his sleeve, some kind of like trade or something he was holding in his back pocket to bring somebody in. But at the same time, I feel like he definitely knew that he was getting Cam because we were wondering all offseason, where's Cam going to go? And just, he never went anywhere.
My biggest problem with it is I really think they believed in Jared Stidham. I really think they thought that guy was good. And this is now the second straight time he's taken the field and looked flat out unplayable bad. Like he doesn't belong in the league bad. Right. I don't understand how that he took him in the third round and thought he was going to be a suitable, even if you thought that guy was a backup. That's insane.
I mean, that's what he does, right? He takes quarterbacks, he makes them look good, you know, or
he didn't make him look good.
Hey, but you know, he had a touchdown.
I think that's humorous, man.
You watch your mouth. Jared Stidham had a touchdown.
60 yards. 60 total passing yards.
Well, he only came in the fourth quarter.
No, he played the whole second half.
Okay. Well, he would have had 120 if he played in the first half. Come on, man. You got to respect Jared Stidham. He's a baller out there.
Unbelievable.
Baller, yeah, man. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Trey. That would have actually been hilarious, man. To see that backfire on Belichick, man, that would have been hilarious. But hey, man, the cards folded how they folded. So,
but I mean, think about it though. He had to have had some kind of plan B.
I don't think he did. I think he thought Jared Stidham was good. I really do.
You know what? Maybe. Okay, so maybe Cam was plan A, Jared Stidham was plan B, and then maybe a trade was plan C.
A trade for a quarterback, yeah.
Exactly. Think about it. How many teams have like two backups right now?
Yeah.
You know, The Eagles, apparently our backup is Nate Sudfeld, and then Hurts is our third string. There's a trade for you.
Nate Sudfeld's the backup, huh? That's your backup plan?
Yeah.
Well, that's the Eagles. On their official depth chart, he's the Eagles' backup.
Okay,
Nate
that's
Sudfeld
fine,
is.
but your backup plan to Cam was you're telling me Nate Sudfeld?
Or Jalen Hurts. Or Jalen Hurts. Because, I mean, obviously, the way they've been running, Cam has been running all over the field. So they've been thinking all off seasons how they can get guys running the football from the quarterback position. You know, they didn't just draw these running quarterback plays up in July. Like, oh, shit, we got Cam. I guess it's time to start thinking how we're going to run the ball. You know, that didn't happen.
No,
you know, they might have made a play. Maybe they don't sign Cam. Maybe they could go make a play for Jameis or Taysom Hill.
that's true.
All right, last thing I got here. I'm going to keep saying this pretty much almost every single week. There's a lot of Jameis Winston haters. He wins that game last night.
Facts.
Jameis Winston wins that game last night. I don't care what anybody says, but Tom Brady, he's like quietly a dick. He really is. And I know, Chad, you said you don't care if he shook Nick Foles' hands or not, but to me, that wasn't even it. Like, not knowing it was fourth down, barking at his offensive line. This is what you signed up for. This is what Jameis Winston dealt with all last year. There's a reason why this team leads the league in penalties. Bruce Arians, good coach, not very disciplined. They always got penalties, and we kind of saw what happens when you got to deal with 3rd and 30, and it's not really your fault that it's 3rd and 30. It's hard, and Jameis Winston, yeah, he's going to throw a lot of picks, but he's willing to take those shots. And Tom Brady, he took like 1 or 2 a game, and that's all he's going to do. Another game, 6 yards an attempt, 25-41, 1 touchdown, no real damage down the field. I don't want to hear the fact that Chris Godwin was hurt. Chris Godwin was hurt at the end of last year too. Mike Evans a little hobbled. I don't want to hear it. He's got Cam Brate. He's got his boy Gronk now. Ronald Jones ran for over 100 yards who had support in the ground game. His defense did a hell of a job all night. Jameis Winston wins that game last night. And for Tom Brady to go out there and not know it's 4th down, I think Belichick deserves a lot more credit here because
I mean, he's 60, so I mean, he forgot. You know, he's got like early onset dementia. You can't hold that against him.
My point is, I've been told that Tom Brady has all these weapons, which is all fine and good. The problem is his offensive line isn't going to perform like the Patriots do, and he's constantly going to have penalties to overcome that the Patriots never make mistakes like that. So let's just acknowledge that Jameis Winston's not as bad as we think that he is, because he wins that game last night, and there's not a doubt in my mind.
I think that Jameis got a lot of heat for the way the scheme was ran, and that's what he did what the coach wanted him to do, which is air it out. And it probably has something to do with his contacts too. We have blur. Where was it, Trey? You had a
yeah, he needed to get his eye vision fixed, but that's technically not his fault because apparently you're not allowed to get the LASIK surgery until you're 25.
Oh yeah. No, real talk though. I play. I wear glasses. So in high school, I played football, and you need your eyes. I mean, in any sport, you need your eyes. So that might have been a real issue for him. But he still did work, man. And for him,
he threw for over 5,000 yards and couldn't see.
Yeah, it couldn't see. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous man. Like that's a dangerous man. He definitely could have won that game.
He would have won that game last night. There's no doubt about it. He puts up points.
He would have got that ball to Mike Evans too. He would have got that ball to Mike Evans. He would have found a way.
Brady missed a couple touchdowns last night, I thought.
Oh yeah, man. Shoot, it was near the end of the game.
There was one to whoever that white tight end is. I forget his name, but he had a wide open. No, the other guy, the new guy that they just called up after the O.J. Howard injury.
Okay.
Whoever the third string tight end is, he was wide open in the end zone, and Brady just flat out missed him.
Yeah. He missed a lot of passes, even the one with Gronk, where he threw it to Gronk instead of throwing it over the back shoulder to Mike Evans. He was behind the defense, but he threw it to Gronk, and and he threw it ahead of Gronk too. And Gronk doesn't have it, but still, he's just missing those plays that you're used to seeing Tom Brady make. Even short passes, he threw a pass. It was probably 10 yards out, and it was short. It was short, hit the ground. His arm isn't there. And I know this isn't about the other guy, which is Breeze, but like I said, I think
Breeze is totally shot. Breeze looks worse than Brady does.
I debated my friends. I'm gonna show them this video. I debated my friends earlier before the season started. And I said for the past couple years, Brady and Breeze have been done. Like the past 2 seasons, they've been done. Like Breeze is holding back the Saints' talented offense because he can't throw it downfield anymore. Same thing with Brady. He doesn't have it anymore. They're legends. I give them their Hall of Famers, first ballot, everything, all that. But their time is up. Like, I would go with a young QB. I told them this before the season started. I said they can't throw it downfield. They can't stretch the field. They're amazing game managers at this point. And if they can't even game manage correctly, then they're not worth it anymore. You need to go because you're wasting amazing weapons on older quarterbacks that can't stretch the field. So that's my thoughts. Brady is his time is up. I don't see him winning the Super Bowl. Coming into the season,
God, no.
I didn't see them winning the Super Bowl.
I never thought that was a possibility. Like, even after, they signed Leonard Fournette, everybody was like, oh, they're so stacked. And I'm like, nah, not really.
I actually think their roster's pretty good.
The roster's really good.
Defensively, it's a lot better.
I'm just saying, you could have the greatest roster in the world, but if you're going to get Tom Brady that you got at the end of last year, it's not going to do anything for you.
I'm glad you brought that up because
I saw something real quick. I saw something today. It was like the first 4 weeks of the season, and it had Brady's 18, 19, and 20 stats, and they were really good through the first 4 weeks. And I'm looking at it like, yeah, but what did he do in the last 4 weeks?
Right.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've been saying this the whole time. What's going to happen when it gets cold outside? Because a lot of these old quarterbacks have looked good through the first 4, 5, 6 weeks.
But it's hot.
At the end of last year, Breeze looked, complete dog shit. Now he looks like dog shit. Now, what's going to happen when it's cold outside? Because we've seen in the past, Tom Brady in that playoff game against Tennessee looked like he needed to retire. He got outdueled at the end of the year by Fitzpatrick. He basically couldn't score against the Texans and Deshaun Watson. He didn't score a touchdown against the Chiefs last year.
He is retired. He went to Tampa. That's where old people go to retire.
I got that with Chad. I like that.
He might have it what was it? Against the Chargers, he had 5 touchdowns. He looked pretty good. He's going to have some decent weeks in the early stages. By the end of the year, it will start to get ugly.
See, I'm not even worried about the cold. What I'm thinking about is the NFL season. I think we can all agree here. It's just like a fucking grueling slog.
He's taking some shots.
So wear and tear.
He's getting punished. There's no way he's gonna last the whole season. We saw it at the end of Brett Favre's career. Brett Favre retired 7 times, but the last time Brett Favre retired, he was I think 3 years younger than Brady is now. By the end of the season, Brett couldn't throw the ball more than 5 yards. And I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen to Brady here. By the end of the season, the ball is just not going to be coming out like it is now. And to prove my point, that final drive of the game last night, the first down play was a comeback to the left side of the field to Mike Evans.
Yeah.
As soon as he threw that pass, I was like, there is no way they score. As soon as the ball left his hand, I was like, he doesn't have it. There's no way he's going to be able to get the ball to the other side of the field. And you could just tell by the way it left his hand.
If he's not perfect, they can't score. They have to almost go on these 12, 13, 14 play drives or they don't score.
Because he can't throw 40 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, stretching the field is important, man. That's the whole thing, man. So it's like
and their game scripts have actually looked really good. Their first opening drives of the game have looked good. He's had open guys all game.
And I asked you guys that in Slack last night. Well, the site. Tory, you're not in the site Slack yet, but
he can be if he wants to join.
well, yeah, I was telling him last night when I was asking him if he wanted to be on the show. I was like, we can get you doing something, Tory. But anyway, as soon as I asked last night in the Slack, I was like, does Bruce Arian call the plays for Tampa?
I don't think he does.
Well, whoever called the first couple drives,
I think it's Byron Leftwich.
Great job. Byron Leftwich, he can call a game. By that first drive, they had guys running wide open all over the field.
Yeah. Those are the only things I had this week. It's just fuck you, Ron Rivera. God Belichick played a dangerous game, and this Brady thing's gonna get ugly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm pretty.
Oh, by the way, the two bets that I have or whatever, I guess it's technically one bet, but it's funny how all these people were believers in Tom Brady being this top 5 fantasy quarterback. It's laughable. Even after his 5 touchdown game, he still wasn't a top 5 fantasy quarterback.
Oh yeah, man.
There's just no way it's happening. So
it never sold me. I saw it. You can see the physical regression, like you said, the past 2 seasons for him and the Patriots. Like you saw the physical regression. It was no and he's old, man. Like it's taking a toll. It's okay. It happens. It's all right.
Oh,
all right, Chad.
By the way, one other thing, since we're talking about Tom Brady here, I think Adam Schefter tweeted last night. Apparently, Brady was in the locker room screaming at the team because nobody told him it was 4th down. First of all,
that's on you,
count.
Bud.
Is that's real?
Like, you can't count. Like one down, 2 down, 3 down, 4 down. You need a calculator for that, Tom.
He's quietly an asshole. He really is.
That's not a good look. I'll give him this. But he's a competitor, but you're not getting spoon fed anymore. You gotta.
It's funny because apparently one of the players on Tampa told him, "You're not in New England anymore."
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh man. And somebody said, "Oh, you got to cut that player," and I'm like, "Man, you probably better off cutting Tom right now." I don't know, man. It's looking real spooky for the Bucks, man. I know they're not winning the Super Bowl. I knew that from the beginning. No. My friends debated me up and down. I told them, I said the Breeze and Brady are not winning anything. It's too many young gun QBs with solid teams. Then Breeze getting beat by Kirk Cousins multiple times. You got Brady losing to who did he lose to? He lost to the Titans, right?
No, the Saints and then to the Bears last night.
He lost to the Titans in the playoffs. He's saying
he lost to the Titans in the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the playoffs. He lost to the Titans in the playoffs. He got outdueled by Tannehill. Like when he's done, man. Like just watching the physical regression, not even just talking numbers. You see their arm isn't there. The mind might still be there, but if the arm and the body can't make the plays, then it's time for you to go. They won't accept it, but you gotta let them go.
Shout out to our video editor, Sophie. Chad, I don't know if you rewatched the lead word from this past week, but she did add the Herbert and World War II vet. Kind of how I feel about the NFC South this year.
Yeah, I did. I did watch that. That was pretty funny.
But that's all I got. So
yeah, I don't have anything else either. Tory, any closing thoughts you want to share?
I hope the Lakers lose. But if they don't, congratulations, LeBron. That's all I got.
All right. Well, Tory, I don't know if you have any kind of like Twitter or social media presence. You have Twitter?
Yeah, I have a Twitter.
All right. Well, share your Twitter, Tory, just in case people want to be entertained by you.
Yeah, man. Find me on Twitter, T2 squared, on Twitter, Instagram, TJ squared. But yeah, that's me.
All right. Well, like I said, go follow Tory. Hopefully we can get him in here. Maybe I talked to Tory. He said he's not an article guy. He's a talker. So maybe we'll get Tory set up with a show at some point. You can follow Trey on Twitter at Trey Daubert, TreyDaubert. Follow myself at Lilfooted, Lilfwooted on Twitter. The site's Twitter, Vendetta_media. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, like the video and then subscribe to the channel. That way we can keep doing video content, putting stuff out on the YouTube. Other than that, I got to say thanks for giving us a listen, and we'll see you next week.